All right, guys, welcome back here, Footy Meech. Glad you guys can join me on season 2 recap with Blackpool FC after a very strong season. Getting promoted. The big question was, could we do it again in season 2, or at least set our authority or establish ourselves in the championship in season 2? And boy, did we do that. Quite happy with the results, finishing 8th with a total of 19 wins, 12 draws, 15 losses, goal difference of 20, and a total of 69 points. Not a bad number if you know what I mean. Just 2 spots shy of finishing into that playoff position. Unfortunately, we had a strong start. We were kind of in that playoff position. I think that the highest point is we were around 2 or 3. We'll check in a second here. But unfortunately, due to injuries and having a bit of a smaller squad, at the later stages of the campaign, we fell a little bit short. And then we tried to kind of scramble, try to sneak into that 6th position. But again, we weren't able to do it. But overall, quite happy with the season. Obviously the bookies had us finishing relegated, and the fact that we were able to finish top half is absolutely huge. So what we'll do, give you guys kind of a bit of the breakdown. We'll go over some of the transfers that came in, mostly the notable ones I'll focus on as well. Tactics, and just kind of going over the schedule on how it played out for the season, and then a bit of a season review and what my expectations are for season 3. So let's dive into the transfers, guys. Here, see what we had to deal with. What I noticed before I kind of dive into it, what I actually noticed is we had a lot of existing players on contracts that were asking for triple or quadruple their wages. Guys are on 2-3K, 4K, asking for 15-20. So it's a very challenging first season. I had to get rid of a lot of players, as you guys can kind of see on this right hand side, with a lot of players kind of going out, and also trying to making some money off some loanies as well. But having a thin squad, and even that's why we kind of had to make quite a bit of, as you guys can see, quite a bit of players that we had to bring in as well. And I think like 1 or 2 in the summer as well. So the most notable signing for us, guys, is probably the most impactful player, I would say, is George Edmondson. So we got him from Ipswich. Huge heading, good marking, good passing. 6'3", strong guy. He's got some experience as well. Played a bit for the Rangers as well. Consistent player, perfect championship player. So the fact that we were able to get him on a relatively low amount of 275,000, which I think is a steal, was definitely huge for us, and someone that we can kind of build around and be a leader for us. Unfortunately, he is close to his potential, but we're Blackpool, so we'll take a player like that any day. So quite happy for that as a replacement. The only downside is he's on 17K a week, which is quite a bit of a mouthful for us, but you got to pay for some good players. So I'm quite happy with that. His return, unfortunately, he got 1 goal. I was expecting maybe 2 or 3 from set pieces, but maybe in the second season with us, you can do that for sure. Dan Zukic, being Serbian, I kind of had to dive into get some Serbian players for us. Overall, not a bad player. Expected a little bit more from him. He was battling some injuries this season as well. 6 goals and 2 assists. I can't complain about that. Got him for about potentially up to 725,000, so 600K as of right now. So it wasn't too bad. So those were kind of the big one of the bigger spending players I did spent in the summer. As you guys can see on the right hand side as well, quite a bit of players were left on the squad. Not going to dive too much into that. Had to get a bit of a backup right back here because we lost Gabriel. So we got this guy in here, Ashby from Newcastle. Huge player, played quite a bit, ended up getting 5 assists. So definitely a huge player. I'm going to see if I can try to bring him back again, or maybe get him on a cheap. Quite happy with him. Baker was good as well. Mainly got this guy for his experience in the championship, good at set pieces. So that's kind of the main reason. 6 goals and 3 assists. Can't really complain about that as well. Backup goalkeeper. Some role players here. You guys might know this guy as well. Colin Robinson. He's got some experience in the championship. Played a bit of games in the Premiership as well. More of an impact sub. Expected a little bit more from him. Only 3 goals was a bit disappointing. Luckily for me, the loan was a bit more short term. It was only to the winter transfer window, so I was okay with that. Huge signing. Shocked that his agent was presenting him to us. on a relatively cheap 5.5K per week. Decore, obviously, quite a bit of games for Watford and Everton. Can play multiple positions. I thought he actually was going to score a bit more for us. He only ended up getting 2 assists. He actually didn't score up for us at all, but huge player for us to have. Obviously, he's the tail end of his career, but the fact that we got him relatively cheap. Hopefully, I'm expecting bigger things from him in his second season with us, and hopefully he can be the cornerstone of getting us promoted as well. So we'll see what happened there. Just another player on free, and then I dipped into the more Serbian market as well, getting more of a very defensive midfield here. Militic. So hopefully this is someone that we can build around. I feel like this is kind of an area that we wanted to strengthen as well. So quite happy with this guy. Hopefully this guy ends up developing into a really good player, maybe even potentially a Premiership player, or it's a player that we can just make a quick profit off him. As you guys can see, he's really valued at around 5 to 6 million. And the fact that we got him for 600,000, potentially up to 900,000 as well. So we'll see. So that's kind of the players that we brought in. Formation wise, we didn't really change a whole lot. We just kind of basically stuck with our formation. The most notable players, I would say, Leon's obviously, he is definitely carrying the team on his back, and that's why a lot of players do want him. Unfortunately, we can't negotiate a contract. Maybe this offseason we will. He's going to expire, but hopefully we can. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of these guys were asking for quadruple, 4x their wages. This guy, I think he's asking for like 35,000 or something like that. So it's a big jump for us. So if we can't give it to him, hopefully we can cash in on that 10 million. But as you guys can see, 2 goals and 10 assists, that's going to be really hard for us to replace. So he was really good. Mr. Langstaff from the Notts County that we got for last season had a huge season, 16 goals, 5 assists. Did not expect that from him, to be honest with you. Paid 200,000 for him. Didn't have a strong season in League One, but man, did he bounce back in the Championship. So quite happy for him as well. I guess notable players is Joseph here. He definitely had a good season for us, 10 and 6. Can't really complain about that as well. This guy as well, one of our players, he was loaned out. We had that Dembele guy, 10 and 6 here. Rob Apter. So quite happy with that as well. So 10 and 6, can't go wrong with that young lad as well. So hopefully he continues to contribute. So we've got definitely a good core, but also a very really thin bench. And role players here. So hopefully I was trying to get some gen players going here like this guy as well. He's got some goals there for us. So hopefully Dominic Thompson actually had a pretty good season for us as well, coming back on loan, 5 goals and 3 assists as a left back. He was just hurt right now. But overall, I'm quite happy with the squad, guys. So we'll dive right now into kind of the schedule, how the kind of season folded out for us. I would say a subpar preseason. As our first game, we got battered by Sutherland, but we kind of bounced back there. Got Barnsley, and we got the next 4 games we did pretty well. We did get knocked out in the second round, unfortunately, to Port Vale in the Carabao Cup. That was a bit of a disappointment. But after that, honestly, we were hanging in there, guys. We were kind of hanging in there with the top dogs. We had I would say, a very strong December. Usually my Decembers are pretty weak, but our January is just kind of when our form really started to dip. And we actually only basically in 2 months, we only had 1 win, which was against Wednesday there. So kind of recouped it a little bit here in April. March was still a bit of a challenging month for us as well, but we try to go for a last-ditch effort there to try to get into that 6th spot. This January really killed us. We'll kind of look at the league tables here. Past positions for us. As you guys can see, at one point we were where past positions we were at, what does that say, 3rd? Yeah, so we were 3rd, and then we were kind of like hovering between 4, 5, 6 there, and then eventually we just kind of dropped off really bad. We got up until like 14th, and we kind of made a bit of a push there at the end of the season there, try to get into that 6th spot, but it didn't happen. So definitely a bit of a up and down. Goal for next season is kind of be a bit more steady, kind of maintain it, and so on and so forth. Hopefully with some additional signings we can do that. Our funds are not really looking that great, 400,000, and we're obviously over the wage budget, so potentially going to have to make some sales, maybe focus more on loanies as well. And then that's pretty much kind of it, guys. Let's see if I got the season review here for you guys. I don't have that. I already went over it before. But yeah, I would say kind of that's pretty much it. Brought some good players in, got some staff here. We got some dead weight leaving as well. We still got the facilities and training all, relatively poor. As you guys can see, media prediction was 24, but we were able to capture that 8th position, which is definitely huge. Haven't upgraded my coaching stuff. Maybe I'll do it right now to see if I can get that improved. To be a bit stronger for you guys in the upcoming season, get that stuff done in the summertime. But overall, I would say it wasn't too bad, guys. Like I said, not that bad. Getting promoted right away and then finishing 8th. Hopefully, we can kind of sneak into anywhere from 3rd to 6th would be huge, and see if we can get through the playoff route with the additional signings. I don't think I'll be making as many signings as I did last season. It's just because we had a lot of dead weight and a lot of players leaving on freeze. Probably maybe going to try to keep it under 4 or 5, so we'll see what happens. Unless obviously there's a good deal on the table, that's for sure. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this season 2 recap with Blackpool, guys. Stay tuned for the next one. If you guys do enjoy the content, it means a lot if you guys leave a like and a comment and subscribe to the channel. So hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Cheers.